Hey, Nathan here with Parley's Diesel Performance. Today we're going to be installing the Edge Juice with Attitude Monitor for a 2005 Dodge Ram Cummins. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and let's just show you what's in the box. As of late, this has become one of our favorite modules to install just because of the 5 adjustable power levels. We're going to be seeing on this application, again a 2005 Dodge Ram Cummins, we're going to be looking to gain anywhere from 40 to 120 horsepower. And the great thing with the Edge Juice with Attitude Monitor is the fact that you're going to be able to shift on the fly between those different power settings. Alright, so as far as in the box, we've opened up the box. Here's the contents as well as some of the tools that we're going to need for this install. You see here we have the actual juice module as well as the harness that we're going to need to plug that in place. We have the probe for the exhaust gas temperature reading as well as the attitude monitor. This is going to allow us to shift on the fly in between those 5 different power settings. We also have a bracket that we can use to install that on the dash. We've opted for the pillar mount for this attitude monitor, so we'll show you that when we get to that point. But we're going to go ahead, head inside, and start with this install. Alright, the next thing we want to do before we get going is just give you an idea of what these different connectors are on the harness itself. Now we'll start at the top and work our way down. This connector here is actually going to plug in to the juice module. So you'll work your way down from that one. Next one we have is the actual ground wire. So it'll look like that. We'll show you where to install that. These will actually connect to the exhaust gas temperature probe. We'll be able to put those in place and connect those where they need. This cable right here will connect to the attitude monitor and give us a lot of the readings that we're going to need to give us the 0 to 60 times and different things like that. So we work our way down. To power the attitude monitor, we're going to need to tap into a few different fuses in the fuse box. So here we have 3 different cables that we're going to be able to attach to different fuses in the fuse box. We continue to work our way down, and you'll have 3 connectors that look like this. These are going to go into place where the injectors are, and we'll show you where the injector connectors are, but these will go in place. The stock connector will come in here, and you'll connect this in where the stock connector was for the injectors. As we continue our way down, we'll see the data link cable. Now your stock truck actually has a dummy cable in there right now, and we'll show you how to remove that and where to remove that, and this will go in place there. Now for those of you who have run programmers in the past, you may be familiar with something called a boost fooler. Quadzilla as well as BD both make a boost fooler. When you get the attitude or juice module, it actually has the boost fooler built in. So that's where this is going to go. This will replace the map sensor and give you some readings there. And then you'll have 2 more of those connectors to go in place for the injectors. Alright, so that's the cable itself. We'll show you where to install that, but before we get going, we just wanted to give you an idea as to what each of these were on the harness itself.
Now the Edge Juice module can mount on top or the side of the black plastic fuse box cover located on the driver's side fender. Now the installation is much easier if you do not mount the juice module until after the harness connectors are connected. Now the first step that you're going to take is you're going to disconnect all 3 stock injector connectors by squeezing the tab on the side of the connector. Just like that. The next step you'll take is plugging the juice harness into the juice module itself and then setting that loosely on the black fuse box. Then what you'll do is carefully and gently insert and connect the juice connectors between the stock connectors and lock those in place. You'll proceed to do that with all 3 injector connectors. Next, connect the harness ground wire to the truck by removing the 10mm bolt from the fender above the battery, and then add the black ground wire with the round terminal to the wires already on the bolt. Then go ahead and replace and tighten the bolt. Now that you've grounded, it's time to go ahead and install the juice map connector and data link connector. Where you'll plug in the data link connectors towards the bottom of the engine, there's currently a dummy plug in there. You can go ahead and remove that and replace it with the juice data link connector. Once you've done that, you'll want to look for the map sensor or map connector located just behind the air intake horn. You'll unplug the stock one and plug the juice map connector in place. Next, we're going to go ahead and install the turbo timer wires as well as the power wires. To do that, what we're going to do is we're going to remove fuse 26 as well as fuses 28 and 35. The red wire is actually the turbo timer wire, and that's the one we'll plug into fuse 26 utilizing the supplied fuse taps on the radiator side. Then also for the power wires, we're going to tap both 28 and 35. That's going to provide power for the attitude monitor itself. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and put the fuse box cap back on, tighten it, and you're ready to go with that. Now that the fuses are tapped, we're ready to install the module itself. What we're going to do is loosely place it and then check clearances, make sure there's enough slack in the harness so that we can access our fuses when needed. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to proceed with mounting the module itself. Now what we found to work out best is we're actually going to take the supplied 3M Velcro tape that we have. We're going to pull the adhesive covers off each side, place those on the fuse and relay center cover, and then we're actually going to just set the module on top of that. That way we don't have to worry about making sure that the distance and the width and everything between these are equal. We're just going to be able to place it on top, press firmly, and our module will be mounted on top of the fuse box. Next, we're going to connect those fuses that we just tapped to the attitude monitor itself. Then using the supplied shrink wrap, you can just go ahead and put those on those nuts and bolts there. Use a heat gun, shrink that around. Sometimes a lighter or anything like that will work as well. Now we've drilled and tapped our exhaust manifold, and as you can see, we've run the line up along here. We've made sure we've sort of gone above and beyond here and have covered everything that it might rub and cause any friction. Use some zip ties, some extra zip ties to make sure that's up and out of the way. Here we have the attitude monitor plug itself that we will run once we've done that through the cab and connect it to the monitor. Now you have a couple different options when it comes to mounting your attitude monitor within the cab itself. The stock plate, as you can see here, can go on top of the pillar. It can go on top of the dash, wherever you want it. We've opted for this installation to use the pillar mount, which is an add-on that you can find at ParleysDieselPerformance.com. As you can see, we've run the cable down under and through into the engine bay. Then what we're going to do is we're actually going to install the attitude monitor. Now the key thing, it's a pretty simple thing. All you have to do is remove one screw from below the handle. The key thing to keep in mind here is do not push on the attitude monitor itself. Press around the edges, press firmly, make sure that's tight in there, and then all you have to do is push until it'll sort of click in place, and then put in that one screw, replace that with a longer screw underneath that handle there, and you have a stock looking gauge setup where you're going to be able to monitor everything that you need. 0 to 60 times, EGTs, boost, you name it, you can do it. So if you have any questions with this install, be sure to contact us, let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you out.